Alright, my third day here in Mercer Island. Now, for the first time in many, many months, I have a relatively okay sleep schedule. So right now, as I'm recording this, it's 6:40, and I hope to go take a walk before I start the day. And I still cannot get over how good I felt those first 39 hours when I moved into here that I was fasting. I wish that could have went on forever because finally I have some good housemates. I have an office that's a short commute away, and getting accepted for who I am in both places. Having places to exercise. We're right near a bunch of parks, although the weather's going to change in the next few weeks, obviously. The only unfortunate thing is that I don't know where to go see the lunar eclipse tonight. I just checked the weather forecast. But you know what? It's much more important that I connect locally. If that doesn't become viable, I can at least meet some people here, and we can follow the news. Anyway, there is one footnote I want to mention. I mean, it turned out well because I ended up moving here, but I had some issues when I was looking for housing on Craigslist. First of all, I had to get some exemptions to this requirement that we're being forced to do here in 2021. I hate to mention what the requirement is. I hate to mention what the exemptions involved are because I don't think this is the last time we're going to experience a situation like this, right? And okay, the other thing I want to, and I made a big deal every time I have to do the other thing besides the drug we have to take, right? I make videos about it. I make a scene at the place because I want people not to forget what we're going through. Now, I had a little issue when I was contacting some of the potential landlords on Craigslist and a bunch of other sites. Craigslist has this feature where you email somebody and it's an anonymous email address, which is safe, but it causes one headache sometimes. So you're apartment hunting and you email 20 people, and maybe 5 of them will respond to you, right? Now the problem is when they respond to you, a lot of times you can't see what the original ad was, right? And it forces you to open up and ask them again, like, hey, where was this? I completely forgot. And it kind of puts the control back in their hands, right? Because now they can drive wherever the discussion, they can drive the discussion to where they want. It's kind of hard to accept. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're shopping for an apartment and you really care about the fact that they allow pets, right? I'm just making up an example. Everybody has what certain criteria that they care about, right? And some of them don't allow pets, but you'll take them. You'll just have to rethink where your pets are going to go, right? Okay, so you email 20 of them, maybe 15 of them allow pets, 5 of them don't. You get a response, and now the owner responds to you, and that information is gone, right? It's not associated with the listing, or they call you, or if you leave your phone number in there. And now you're forced to ask if they allow pets. Now all of a sudden the owner knows that's the important point for you, right? And they can sometimes leverage that away, right? I also learned that. So one of my big fears, aside from the obvious, right, the safety of the neighborhood, any health concerns of the place, lead paint, radon. Aside from the obvious, one of my big fears was I would get a roommate or a housemate who was completely silent, right? It drove me nuts at another place. And unfortunately, I went to the home and I wasn't shy to let the owner know what kind of, when I asked about the backgrounds of the other tenants in the home. And I almost got angry when I was asking about that, right? And the owner thought it was the owner thought I was creepy for that, and so I lost that place, which is good because I ended up in a place I actually like, right? Another problem I ran into is I left another place, even though the place looked very good. It was a relatively new building, so it wouldn't have the health concerns issues. It didn't have the neighborhood looked very good, but the owner had put the ad on there, and I had responded, and he had responded, But then after he responded and I tried to open the Craigslist ad again, he deleted it. And it made me feel he wanted to change some things. He didn't want to hold up his end of the bargain that he had wrote on the Craigslist. He heard what I said, and he wanted to leverage out of that. So he deleted the Craigslist. It felt like that, at least. And when I asked him what happened to his Craigslist ad, he had no answer for that. He changed the subject of the discussion, the email, and so I stopped talking to him. I don't know if I made the right choice or not. Feel free to leave a comment. Anyways, it made me learn that you don't have to give up more information than you need in order to. Feel free to go silent, right? So I have a job interview later this week. Fortunately, we're going to start on Zoom, the interview, and I've learned on Zoom to have one thing I love about using Zoom is that I can open another distraction window, right? If I feel compelled to say something, let's go to this distraction window for a couple seconds, browse something on the internet, maybe watch even my own YouTube video for advice that I might have given that I've forgotten about, right? The one thing I don't like about Zoom interviews that I prefer to do in person is that in person, at least here in Seattle, I'm not sure about the rest of the country, you still have to cover your face. And sometimes you have something difficult to say. You can't hold a straight face. Oh my God, I could finally say it. After all these years of holding out on saying something because I couldn't say it with a straight face, bam, it comes right out, right? You don't have to say what you don't have to say. And try to listen for hidden details that somebody is saying, right? And try to force the other side to talk by not saying it for them, right? Because when they talk, they might talk more than the information that you're looking for.